Growing up in Toronto as a first-generation child of Guyanese immigrants may be hard to balance for most. But for singer Melanie Fiona, it provided her with the best of both worlds. Her traditional upbringing could have easily pegged her into, as she jokes, having a stereotypical medical career, but luckily, her parents loved music just as much as she did and encouraged her to pursue her dreams. Melanie Fiona Halim was born on July 4, 1983, the second child of her Guyanese immigrant parents, who came to Canada in the late 1970s. She told Billboard in 2009, "My dad used to play guitar in a band, and my mom was always singing to big vocalists. That trickled down into my love for music and my open mentality. My parents leaving a third world country to a first world country and building from nothing, that's really inspiring to me, and it's influenced me in a positive way." Fun fact, Melanie says she knew she first wanted to sing from the age of 3. The first song she ever sung was The Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston. Melanie began writing songs at age 16. Years later, she'd reveal that there was one album in particular that changed her life and convinced her that music was in her future. So many songs individually did, but I would have to say The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill really put things into perspective for me. It was such an amazing body of work that was quality from top to bottom and made me believe that it was possible to make an album of substance. By 2002, Melanie had become part of a girl group called Exquisite. Signed to Warner Music Canada, they released their self-titled debut album the following year. After receiving a nomination as one of 5 finalists for R&B Soul Recording of the Year at the 2004 Juno Awards, the group disbanded in 2005. She tried the group thing again with the short-lived collective The Renaissance. One of her group members was Aubrey Graham, better known as Drake. Stuck under a glass ceiling in the Toronto music industry, Melanie decided to make her way over to Los Angeles in search of a recording contract. She also dabbled in songwriting for other artists, co-penning Dem Haters for Rihanna, while continuing to seek out her big break. Then hip-hop mogul Steve Rifkin came into the picture. He signed Melanie to his SRC Records and Universal Motown through Title IX Productions in 2007. Right before things took off for her, she released a reggae song in 2008 under the moniker Siren Hall. The track Somebody Come Get Me was featured on the compilation album Reggae Gold 2008. Prior to completing her debut solo album, Melanie crossed paths with 2 rappers who would play major roles in kicking off her career. Kanye West handpicked her to open his European tour. Then she met Jay-Z. After he heard her music, he agreed to manage her under his entertainment company, Roc Nation. Melanie released her debut solo album, The Bridge, in the summer of 2009. When asked about the message she was trying to convey with the music, she told Fanbold, "I think the message in the music speaks for itself. It's real topics and real music. I go through and relate to the same things most people do. I wanted people to know that as an artist, I wanted to do something different and take the boundaries out of the music. I wanted to make a sound that would appeal to everyone." The lead single was Give It To Me Right. The song made it into the top 20 on the Canadian Hot 100, in addition to a placement on the US Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. The biggest standout, though, would be the follow-up, called It Kills Me. It topped the Billboard R&B chart and earned her a Grammy Award nomination for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance.
It kills me to know how much I really love you.
And yes, the guy driving the car in the music video is actor Adam Rodriguez of CSI Miami fame and Melanie's boyfriend at the time. They'd later part ways after seriously dating for 3 years. In 2011, Melanie achieved major success as a featured artist on the single version of CeeLo Green's track, Fool For You. It gave her 2 Grammy wins, Best Traditional R&B Performance and Best R&B Song. Her second album, The MF Life, was released in 2012. The lead single, Gone and Never Coming Back, peaked to 37 on the US R&B chart. The second single, 4 AM, peaked on the same chart at number 8.
4 a.m. and my lover won't answer.
Melanie would part ways with Universal in early 2013. As a newly independent artist, she'd announced later that year she was working on her 3rd album, titled Awake. Over the next couple of years, she'd tease and/or release songs set to appear on the project. She told Billboard that whatever the outcome of her future in music, it would be on her own terms. "I'm hoping with my next go-around, there'll be a positive collaboration. Not that it wasn't before, but now that I'm older and wiser and more experienced in this music game, I'm definitely looking forward to having a lot more creative control." While working on her music, she was also growing a family. Her and American Idol Season 6 contestant and fellow singer-songwriter Jared Cotter welcomed a son in 2016. In a 2022 interview with XO Nicole, Melanie told their love story that began after she completed a year and a half of doing intense and intentional spiritual work and deciding that it was time to meet her person. And that she did on her way to a songwriting retreat in the Caribbean. They began dating shortly after returning to New York. However, less than a year into their relationship, Melanie made the difficult decision to break up with Jared, a decision she didn't want to make, but needed to so that he could be sure of where he wanted to be. 6 months into their breakup, he made his way back to Melanie, more evolved and confident in how he wanted to show up for her and what she meant for him in his life. The couple became engaged in 2018. Originally, they planned to marry on Italy's Amalfi Coast, but the COVID-19 pandemic forced them to postpone their wedding several times. Then, in an October 2019 Instagram post, Melanie opened up about her musical hiatus and soul-searching journey more than ever before, sharing a timeline of obstacles she faced over the years. In 2010, she fell apart after experiencing all the success she did with her debut album. After coming off tour, her mind and body were severely stressed. Her energy was depleted. She was having irrational feelings of anger and negativity and constantly getting sick. She recovered by focusing more on health and fitness. A couple of years later, she was experiencing extreme highs and lows in both her personal and professional life. On the high end, she won 2 Grammys, released a new album, and found her dream apartment. On the low end, she suffered a major heartbreak, was attacked on social media, and dealt with serious vocal issues. At one point, she lost her voice completely. She fought back with spirituality, alternative medicine, and Reiki. In 2016, she battled postpartum depression after the birth of her son. She directed people to watch her YouTube video titled "It's Time to Tell the Truth" for the full story where she revealed her traumatic birth experience. In 2017 to 2018, her confidence shattered. Longtime and newly established personal and professional support systems fell apart. Her album got shelved, she developed an autoimmune skin disorder from stress, and she started seeing a therapist. And in 2019, Melanie suffered a debilitating back injury, got her heart broken by one of her best friends, faced professional rejection and career uncertainty, and set boundaries with narcissistic people in her life. Ultimately, she became committed to self-care and inner work. At the end of the post, she added, "When I look back on my emotional and mental health journey, I am thankful for it all. But I am most thankful for the resources, people, and practices I discovered that supported my growth, healing, and wellness. Today, I am in a good place, and I'm focused on reconnecting with my life's purpose. I know that is greater than anything I am going through. I realize that I had to lose my voice to find my voice, and I must use that voice to bring healing." She and Jared finally married in December 2020 in Los Angeles. 1 year later, they welcomed a daughter. Now, Melanie is ready to step back into her musical calling. Her latest single, "Say Yes," dropped in October 2024. It arrived with the B-side, "I Choose You," which incorporates elements of reggae, lovers rock to be exact, which is an ode to her Guyanese roots. The tracks will serve as the double lead single for her upcoming EP, set to be released sometime in 2025. In an interview with YouKnowIGotSoul.com, she ended it off by talking about the importance of remembering that life is a journey. "I don't think there is such thing as balance, and I think there is just the journey, and in the last 10 years of my life, I've really been on the journey of making what balance looks like for me. There's been a lot that's happened, and I've had to reshape a lot of things in life, personally and professionally. I've had to think about what I want the next 20 years of my life to look like. That requires setup and learning. Getting lost and finding yourself. In that time, I got married, we had a pandemic, I became an independent artist, I had 2 children. I think the thing we forget is that things take time. Good things take time. The good parts of me that I'm so proud of, I really discovered in this time. I think in this season of my life, I've set myself up to be able to give a good percentage of my capacity to my art and to being out in the space of music again, knowing that I have support and I have a family and I have a partner and I get to be able to say yes to myself. It's great. It's been a journey to get here."